Hello and welcome to my exploration into script writing. Today we'll be doing a deep dive into how scripts should be written and formatted in order to meet the film industry's strict standard of professionalism. Since the 1930s Hollywood system, a firm and inflexible format has been expected from all writers when submitting their scripts. This standardised format was established to make scripts as quick and accessible to read as possible, making it easier for both the script selection process and all stages of production to be completed. It is absolutely necessary that if you want your scripts to be selected for production, you must follow this guide and correctly format your works. First, all scripts must be written in the font Courier and in the 12 point. This is crucial as this will mean that around a page's worth of writing equates to 1 minute on screen. This allows studios and producers to make this simple conversion to easily understand the length of a script. Another key part of a script's formatting is the margins, more specifically their sizes. The top, bottom and right side of each page must have a margin measuring 1 inch. The left margin differs and must measure 1.5 inches. It is also important to note that page numbers should be positioned in the top right corner of the page and 1/2 inch margin from the top of the page. All pages of a script should be numbered, with the first being the only exception. Last but not least, you must always remember to write your scripts in third person and in the present tense. Now without further ado, let's dig deeper into the formatting of script's main elements. Slugline. Here, immediately at the start of a script, a clear and concise slugline is used. A slugline may also be referred to as a scene header and is primarily used to inform members of production on any important information it requires preparation for. Scene number. The information here in this slugline includes the scene number, which, similar to the page numbers, helps maintain an understanding of the script's order. This is especially useful to reference when shooting non-chronologically, as members of the crew will be able to check the order scenes occur in. Scene numbers are positioned at both the beginning and the end of a slugline, bookending it and making it extremely clear which scene this section of script is for. Interior versus exterior. Next in the slugline is a shorthand indicator of whether or not a scene is indoors or outdoors. If a scene is set in an exterior location, the scriptwriter will write EXT in all caps, and if it is in an interior, they will write INT in all caps. These are incredibly important to include within a script, as they will inform the crew on what equipment will be appropriate for usage in the location. For example, exterior settings may have to be lit differently to accommodate for the sun, while interior settings might give the crew more creative choice on how a scene is lit. Location. Furthermore, this interior or exterior location is described in little detail in the location indicator. It is generally written in 2 parts, with the larger, more general location being described first, followed by the smaller, more specific location within that. Day and night. Finally, a clear indicator of light levels and time is created when written in the form of either day or night. Scriptwriters may also choose to establish this time with more specificity, including the time in 24-hour clock and in some cases the day number within the film's narrative. Some examples include Scene 37, Interior, University Campus, Sean's Office, Day 16, Scene 37. Here in our example, we are able to learn that this will be the film's 37th scene and will be set in an interior. Furthermore, we can tell this interior will be within a university campus and more specifically inside the character Sean's office. Finally, we are aware that we are 16 days into the film's time frame. Here is another example of what a slugline should look like from the 1981 film Raiders of the Lost Ark. We see the suspenseful moment where Indy attempts to swap out the golden idol with a bag of sand. I have created a replication of what this scene's slugline may have looked like. Scene 1, Interior, Peruvian jungle, ancient cave, day, 12:45, Scene 1. From this slugline we can gain much information about the scene, including its order in the film and a simple understanding of both location and time. Action. Action blocks are positioned on the left margin and are very slightly indented. They are used to give detailed descriptions of locations, as well as where the characters are within this location, what they're doing and how. They can be manipulated to portray the intended pace of a scene by breaking up one solid paragraph into a number of smaller sentences. This will also be used to reference any props that are needed for scenes, with props and effects being clearly written in all capitals to allow production crew to easily create a list of necessary props and equipment. Character names. The names of characters can be found written within many of the script's main components, and must also be written in all capitals at all times. When paired with dialogue, they are aligned centrally, sitting directly on top of the dialogue block. Parentheses, also known as brackets, are mainly utilised with dialogue and character names. In some cases, they are positioned directly between the two and will inform the reader on how a line of dialogue is spoken. Here in this example, the writer has specifically intended for this line to be spoken quietly rather than leaving the choice to the director and actor. Parentheses may also be used to suggest a pause between two lines that are spoken by one character. In this case, beat will be bookended by brackets and positioned by the lines of dialogue. In other cases, rather than beat, continued may be used instead, written in a shorthand. Dialogue. The final key element of the script that must be noted is dialogue. It is crucial that alongside both the character names and parentheses, the dialogue block must be centrally aligned on the page, similar to the action block. Any names or props mentioned in the dialogue must be written in all capitals in order to make it very clear and simple for the crew members to understand what actors, props and more will be necessary for each shoot day. Additional elements. Now, for some smaller additional elements that you may find using when writing a script. These are incredibly important for adding further detail to the script. A list of these additional elements includes transitions, edit notes, montage, voiceover, off-screen action and flashbacks. Transitions and edit notes. Transitions and edit notes work very similarly, with the writer having a specific vision for how they want two or more scenes to be edited together. These notes will only be listed if the writer feels it is the best way to tell the narrative. Transitions should be positioned aligned with the 1-inch margin on a page's left side. An example of a transition could be seen in a cut back to, fade to black, or fade in. Voiceover and off-screen action. Voiceover will be written in parentheses and positioned between the character name and the dialogue itself. Rather than writing voiceover each time a shorthand is used, VO can be written in these parentheses. In some other cases, some writers will choose to do the same but with the shorthand OS rather than VO. OS is shorthand for off-screen, which means that a writer may also use it for when referring to action that's occurring off-screen as well. Flashbacks. Flashbacks are not written alongside edit notes, and you are best placing them in the scene's slug line. For example, here, the slug line, scene 38, interior, Will's childhood home, day minus 4,383, flashback, scene 38. It may be noted very simply by leaving a note stating flashback, and in some cases the narrative day is written in negatives to portray the amount of time that's passed between the present day and this flashback. Both the main and additional elements are crucial to the script writing process, and the format must be understood and executed to the highest standard. I thank you for watching, and I truly hope that my guide will and has greatly assisted you in any of your current or future writing endeavours. That's all from me. I wish you good luck. It's now time to set your passion for script writing free. Goodbye.